welcome back to camp this year. How's everyone doing?
Good, it's a little chilly, but it's fine.
Alright, this year's topic, we're going to be talking about urban legends. So urban legends are frequently shared in our culture. Many of these stories have lessons that we can learn, especially if we understand the back knowledge. All of us here at camp specialize in scary stories, and we take an interest in urban legends. I mean, that's why you're here, right? Urban legends are well known and have been shared throughout many generations, but really knowing the history is very uncommon. Today, let's dive in and share the origins of 4 urban legends of our choosing, and let's give an overview and the backstory. Kelsey, do you want to start off with your favorite urban legend?
Yes, definitely. Now this is a really creepy one, but my favorite is the woman in white. Have you guys ever heard of her?
No.
No? Alright, well let me give you a little bit of a backstory. The original story was about a woman named Maria from Guadalupita, New Mexico. She found her husband was cheating on her, and she went crazy, and she killed her kids and then killed herself. Now, there's been many different tales, but according to Krista Durante, an author on the paranormal for ghosts and hauntings for Exemplar, an article written on November 26, 2018, the woman in white is also known as the White Lady or a weeping woman, and is mostly seen in rural areas and is associated with tragedies. This story has been very popularized in our media. The most popular of this version is very similar to our first story, right? So this woman, she finds out her husband's cheating on her, and then she, in a fit of craziness, she goes and kills her kids. Usually it's by drowning, but there are stories where she's killed them with knives and other such things. And realizing the terrible thing that she's done, she kills herself, and her ghost is seen wandering around rural areas, a lot of the time by lakes, also highways. And in a lot of the versions of the story, she will be picked up by a solo driver, and she will attempt to get them to cheat or be unfaithful to their lover, and she will kill them, but they are never seen again. Now, I love murder stories, don't you?
Yeah. Pretty scared now.
Does anybody else have a murderous story to talk about?
I have a pretty good one. You guys know I'm a huge fan of horror movies and scary stories and things like that, so I have a pretty good one. One story that I really like is the Attack of the Bookman. In that, a teenage boy and teenage girl go off to a makeout spot, and they're in their car together. They are on their date. In the car, they're starting their makeout session, and after a little while, the boy turns on the radio, and the announcer comes in and says that there has been an escapee from the local insane asylum, and everyone should be aware of the man with the hook on his right hand. The boy keeps trying to continue, as all boys do, and the girl starts to get scared, and she wants to go home. So after a while, she convinces him, or she stops him again and says, "I really want to go home." He's like, "No, let's stay." And she finally pressures him and says, "Okay, let's go." So he finally kind of gets mad and says, "Fine, let's go." Puts the car in gear and takes off and takes her home. Once they pull up in front of her house, she gets out of the car and she lets out a huge scream. So the boy jumps out of the car, runs around to the passenger side, and there's a bloody hook hanging from her door. So obviously the killer was on the loose and almost caught him. According to Jake Rosen in the article, The Origins of 6 Terrifying Urban Legends and Classic Campfire Stories, Access for Mental Floss, on May 5th, 2019, a former military man named Clarence Hill was convicted in 1942 of self-murders in Pennsylvania, in which he would sneak up behind unsuspecting occupants in cars and shoot them. So even though this story seems like it might be far-fetched, it actually is rooted in reality, which makes it all the more frightening. So, anybody have anything that they think can top that one?
Yeah, so we all know about Bloody Mary, right?
Man.
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty common one. Yeah? Okay. Well, according to History.com, accessed by me on May 7, 2019, in the 5-year reign of Mary I of England, she was a queen, she had over 300 religious descendants burned at the stake. Hence, the very gruesome name of Bloody Mary for her violent acts. The folktale began actually in the 1970s. So, you're at a sleepover with your friends, usually occurs with girls. They tell you to go in a bathroom alone, in the dark, and all you have is one candle. That's all you get. You start spinning in a circle while your heart's racing. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. I killed your daughter. Bloody Mary. You say this 13 times. Ha! Her face appears in the mirror. She reaches out and scratches you. Blood's all over the mirror. Your toilet fills with blood. Now, why did they say this? Well, these girls were pubescent, like they were about to go through puberty. Blood, hello. At the sleepover, you don't want to be the Bloody Mary. Anybody else? David, do you have something more relatable?
Yeah, it's a little more relatable and it's creepy as hell. So, one night, there was a girl and she was home alone with her dog. So she felt all safe and so she decided to just go to bed. And she just felt festered by a dripping sound that she heard. But instead of getting up and checking on it, she was halted by her sudden motion to feel for her dog, and she felt a lick. She felt reassured. So she ended up going back to bed. The next morning, she went to the bathroom, and she ended up finding her dog hung and cut, like the throat was cut, and it was clearly the blood dripping from that she heard. And on the wall, she read, "Humans can lick too." Yeah. So the information of the backtail of the story comes from the Englishman Dearman Birchall and his diary entry, which entailed a story of a man with a similar experience. He felt a lick as well, thinking it was his dog, and then the next morning he found out that his entire house was robbed. So it's a similar experience. That's from David Emery .co, accessed by me on May 6, 2019. And there's another entry by Shaughnessy Farrell of Mental Floss, who discusses a diary entry from a short story, Mr. Pointer's Diary, from 1919 by Mr. M.R. Jones, that discusses another experience of a man reaching down to pet his dog, but what he really reaches down is like a haired like creature, like a humanoid haired man or something. So he ended up fleeing from that. So that's more of a story that we can relate to, because we all have pets at home, or we might feel reassured but there might be instances where it might be too late, like the girl in the story where she had the writing on the wall.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go get some firewood.
Oh man. Well guys, it's been great learning about these urban legends and the history of all of them. Hey, don't you think it's a little weird that she left to go look for some firewood? We need our camp counselor to be here to help us survive. We should go find her to go be safe.
Yeah, we should